so much of our lives inside. Either in traffic at work or close eyes. How about we all agree that it's way overdue to take back our lives? I can work wherever now. You can work wherever now. Take your guard and let it down, 'cause you can work wherever now. Take your guard and let it down, 'cause you can work wherever now.
Hello and welcome on into the Work Wherever podcast. I'm Roy Edwards. I'm your host, and we are the podcast that talks about tech trends, artificial intelligence, collaborative intelligence, the ability to work wherever so you can live every day like it is Saturday. Thank you, Sydney, for which that little echo right there, that means that Sydney's here, which this is a hotspot episode of Roy and Sydney browsing through the internet, taking out some of the tech trends and articles of the season. So welcome on in, Sydney. Hello.
Thanks. Hi, guys. Been a while.
It's always better when you're here. Yes,
That's sweet.
it's been, well, it's the truth. Otherwise, I have to sit in this chair and rant and put my tinfoil hat on. So now we get to do it together.
Perfect.
That's what took so long, is we were upstairs in the kitchen for the last month and a half making the perfect tinfoil hat. So
We
that
could get a different podcast going, and I think that would
We might have to. We might have to just
on
put a bow.
work related.
put a bow on the Go Work Wherever podcast, which we
can
could
do both.
we could put that podcast on goworkwherever.com, which will be launching. Do we have a launch date for it?
Not for Go Work Wherever, but for other,
TBD.
coming soon. But we do have our other website that I think is supposed to be launching within like a week or so. Wherever
Before
it
the
is.
new year. And that website is
Online Academy.
onlineacademy.cloud. So on the onlineacademy.cloud. So if you are subscribed to our YouTube, which you're probably watching this, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel. And if you don't know that we have a YouTube channel and you just listen to us through Spotify or iTunes or any of the other platforms, first, thank you for listening. But we do have a YouTube where you can watch us. So if you want to see what Sydney looks like or what I look like, probably want to see more what Sydney looks like. I look exactly what you think. I have a face for radio. So I tell Sydney that the views of our YouTube podcast get better views when you're here.
I don't know. You sprung this on me today. I look not great.
Well,
okay.
You can come check us out on the YouTube. Subscribe while you're there, please. Like and subscribe. You can leave some comments, and we'll get to those on future podcasts. And while you're there, you'll be able to see other videos. Like, what other videos do we post there?
So a lot of how-tos, what is. I know we just posted like an MS900, so you'll go into all of that like basic information, and that I think I branded more as like Online Academy.
I forgot about the MS900. So we are doing the MS900. So the MS900, for those of you who don't know, is a certification. It's like the fundamentals of Microsoft 365. And we're going through it, and we're breaking down the MS900 training and walking you through so that you can get certified. So if that's of interest to you, if you want to get the MS900, then like and subscribe. And then while you're there, if you want more information, because the YouTube videos are very high level, which as they should be, they're your introductory. If you want more information, that's where you go to the onlineacademy.cloud. It is a subscription-based platform, but you'll get way more in-depth training. Labs, quizzes, workbooks, all kinds of good stuff there. We're launching with 3 courses to start?
I believe
so. Mm-hmm.
So. Or maybe 2, and then we have a third.
Okay.
Like ready to go.
So we're launching with 2. The third will be once everything is complete, and then we have 2 others that I believe that are in editing, right? So we'll have a good amount of courses up there, and then we'll keep adding. So it's not like, you can only get those courses, because we will continue to add courses as we go. So that is onlineacademy.cloud. That is something to be looked at. And then the Go Work Wherever, at a date, TBD, for my Office fans out there, will be released hopefully by the new year. So if you're listening to this in the new year and you're like, well, Go Work Wherever is already up, then first, congratulations, Sydney, for getting it up. Great job.
We're close, though. I know we are close.
We are
close. We answered
close.
a bunch of questions, I think, that were left, and
we're making progress.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I think we've got the store link to it, so it should be.
Is that what we're waiting on?
She has that information, so to my knowledge,
Okay.
should be almost ready.
So to that point, the store, so you'll be able to purchase things that we talk about here on the podcast. We do like reviews and we talk about certain things, like obviously around technology and how to work wherever. So like hotspots and headsets and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll have guidebooks for purchase. So if you're trying to implement some of the things we're talking about, that'll be for purchase. What else we got on there?
You said headsets and things
Headsets,
like that.
yeah.
Anything that would make remote work easier.
Yeah. Oh, and the podcast.
Actually,
And you can listen to the podcast there.
maybe we can do like bonus episodes.
We'll do bonus episodes. Maybe you can listen to like Sydney and I's other podcast there. That is maybe we'll have to name that one. That one will not be on work. Maybe we'll have to do one. Why not? So in today's episode of Go Work Wherever, or the Work Wherever podcast, we are talking about 3 different things. So you probably clicked on this to listen because the title says Killer Robots in the 4-Day Work Week. And so we will be talking about killer robots because San Francisco just passed a law to allow robots to use deadly force. So we are definitely going to dive into that today. There is also a Fortune, is it a Fortune.com? Is that what it is?
So. Mm-hmm.
It was a Fortune study, the biggest 4-day work week trial ever. So we're going to dive into that. And then, of course, there is news that I don't know if it broke this week or not, but it has certainly covered the internet within the last 5 hours of us sitting down here to record this podcast, and that is Amazon. Amazon laying on. Are you having a hard time with your phone?
Yes.
There's
Just in general.
Amazon laid off 10,000 employees today. So Amazon, which
In one day.
in
That's a lot.
one day, and there's videos now trending on the Twitterverse that has these people lined up handing in their orange vests or blue vests or whatever Amazon uses of their 10,000 people that got laid off. And we talked about it on another podcast that you weren't on. It was just me ranting about it, talking about how Amazon finished 4th
Yeah.
in Black Friday. And you know who the other 3 were?
Walmart, Target, and Kohl's.
And Kohl's.
Shocking.
Kohl's Cash coming in ahead of Amazon.
I always recall when you would go shopping at Black Friday, they would give you the boxes, the
Yeah.
clothes boxes. So it's always a joke in our house, because we all open our presents together, all
And they're
my
all
cousins,
Kohl's.
and then we'll open it Kohl's box.
Kohl's box. That's really funny.
And then we save them each year, so we just have a million Kohl's boxes that we just reuse.
I reuse boxes for everything. So you'll get Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, all the old school, stuff that boxes I've had for years. And then, I feel like everything's in an Amazon box,
Hollister.
It's we save our boxes around here for this time of the year. And then bags. We have bags. I don't know if are you guys big bag people?
It depends.
We use a lot of bags.
I always like to get a special paper.
Like the tissue paper and stuff like that?
Well, a wrapping paper. That,
for
presents.
people.
Yeah. I did a turbo. I got the Turbo Man wrapping paper.
Because that's your favorite movie.
A couple years
Christmas
ago,
movie, I
and I
guess.
did all my presents in it, which was.
You
just
wrapped
as,
your own presents, or that's how people
for
knew
other
they were
people.
from you?
But
Okay.
the paper itself was just expensive as the
Yeah, right.
presents because it was from Etsy, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, I was proud of that one.
We do that for our kids. So every kid has their own wrapping paper.
That's smart.
Yeah. It's easy. It's quick to say, okay, you're in the, this one and you're in that one. So that they
Right.
don't have to walk around and go, where are the whose is this?
Right.
And
And especially I just showed you that mountain of presents that we have for my family. So
Yeah.
it's easy to be okay, those are my presents. You can give that to somebody because we try to, we do one at a time too,
mm-hmm.
and then it takes hours.
Right. That's how we do it. It's everybody stop what
It's
you're
a
doing.
whole day event.
This person is opening. We're going to pay attention here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do too. Because otherwise you rip through it and you're done in 15, 20
not
minutes
fun.
and it's what is this? What this
we
isn't
like to
this
make
is
it
what
a
it's about.
5-hour event.
Yeah. It's not about ripping open presents as fast as you can so that you can go eat sugar cookies or whatever. It's the whole season is about giving. Well, it's about Jesus Christ, but you know, there was giving, and that happened too. So, all right. So, what do we got going on today?
So you want to start with the 4-day work week?
Well, actually, did you go shopping for Black Friday?
No.
Have you gotten anything done?
I did 0 shopping on Black Friday.
None. Not a single thing bought.
No.
What about Small Business Saturday?
No.
What about Cyber Monday?
No.
So you're playing catch up.
Yeah, I like to buy all my presents last minute, and then I pay extra to have them here on time.
So you're extra last minute because I saw a leave request come in today where you're going to Mexico, I believe.
I waited until after that trip last year.
When do you get back?
Which is, I think so.
When?
I get back this year, the 22nd.
The 22nd.
I think last year, I think it was like a week earlier. So I will do my best to do everything before then. But yeah.
So you haven't bought a single thing for anybody for Christmas yet?
No.
Do you know what you're going to get at least?
No.
No clue.
I do.
What about Evan? Does Evan provide you a list? Like, do you have a list?
I ask for it, but no, I don't have a list.
Nothing.
I try to keep like notes
Throughout the year,
but I have like one thing in mind. But we're getting married, so
right?
Wedding is our list.
That's your present.
I did ask my parents for paper towels. 'Cause my dog is bad and untrained, so we go through an absurd amount of paper.
That's
towels.
how you know that you're an adult.
Just give
What
me
would you like?
Closet full of paper towels.
You can just go to Costco or BJ's and just buy me the biggest stack of
Please,
paper towels.
I still go to my parents' house and steal their things like all the time.
I
will leave with paper towels every time. I take her makeup because they have like a Costco subscription. So I'm like, I need some makeup wipes. I need some bars of soap.
just walk into the bathroom, grab a handful of toilet paper, and walk out.
I left with like 2 bags last time. Toilet paper, yeah, I did.
That's hilarious.
I still.
I'm not gonna lie though, I did the same thing. Like my parents would always load me up before I left, and now they live in Florida now.
Sorry.
So I don't have that luxury. I can't skip down the street anymore. I don't have a single relative really that lives close. My brother-in-law and my brother would be the closest, and they don't live in the same state. Not that they live far.
Right.
They're on the other side of the line, but I got nobody near me, so I can't just. And I'm not gonna run over to Christopher's house and steal his toilet paper. He probably would come to my house and steal my toilet paper. You know. So, oh man. Well, I went out for Black Friday. I do like 90% of my shopping on Black Friday. So I made a point to shop small for all of the days. So I went into this little town, Occoquan is where we went.
We love it.
Love Occoquan. So we did. They have like a little like elf thing. Travel. Have you ever seen one of those before? They hand you like a. They do it a lot in like small towns. Like town of Fairfax does it. Occoquan does it. I'm sure Old Town Manassas probably does it. And they give you a piece of paper, and they're like, you got to go to each of the stores, and you get stamps or a signature when you're there. And then if you shop at 6 of the small businesses, you enter into a raffle for a chance to win money.
That's great. No, I've not seen that. I know like they do like the little peep thing for Easter. Like they do like the little peep displays in all the windows.
Oh, what is that? Tell me about that. I don't know that.
I think they just do like the actual peeps, and they like make them into like almost dioramas in their windows.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not heard of the Christmas one. That's awesome.
Yeah, so you get a signature, and so I have 2 more places that I need to go to Occoquan so I can enter into the. It ends on the 6th.
It's a very cute store for
I love
Haley.
Occoquan. Yeah, I need to get 2 more things. If you spend over $10 or something like that, you get a signature.
And there's a cute Christmas store.
We'll have to get some ornaments or something.
I do like that store. I remember applying there for like my first job, but they weren't hiring.
They were like, nah.
I was like, that used to be like my dream. Like I wanted to move to the beach, and I wanted to work like at a Christmas store, or like have my own.
Keep the dream
Christmas
alive.
Store. Or like bed and breakfast. I wanted to own a Christmas store. Like I'm all about it.
Why not? That sounds cool to me.
Maybe
I like
one.
to live near the water. I'll tell you what, I will not die in Northern Virginia.
That's for sure.
It is too crowded
No.
up here. So, yeah, so we did the Black Friday thing. We did Small Business Saturday, which there wasn't a lot of people out. The first store that I went into was around 1 o'clock, and she said that we were the second person she'd seen all day,
Wow.
which was kind of depressing a little bit. And then we went to another store, and then And then I did go to a big box store on Small Business Saturday, not because I wanted to, but because it was the only place. We looked for a sports store to get a jersey, and there were no sports stores. And we had to go to Dick's, which, you know, I had to get two jerseys. I had to get my brother and my dad wanted jerseys, so we had to go to Dick's.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful on Saturday. I think we went to the middle of nowhere, like 3 hours away, and we shot guns.
That's
all
a
day.
lot more fun than what I did. I spent money and shopped. So that was our time, guys. If you we're about to get into these articles, but don't just stop shopping small because Small Business Saturday is over. Like, go out, shop small the entire season. It keeps, you know, the economy, your local economy, which is extremely important to you wherever you live. It keeps them running. So go out and shop small, please.
Yeah, and I actually just read an article too that it was saying remote work is making your communities almost look like a donut. I didn't get that far into it, but it was saying just because people work remotely so much that like business has gone down in like small coffee shops, small shops around, and things like that too. So it's interesting.
Yeah, make a point. And if you are a remote worker, which you probably are, if you're listening to this podcast, go work at a coffee shop this season. Why not? Right? Get a coffee, get a donut, take a meeting there, patronize your local community. Don't go to a Starbucks. Go to like a coffee, like a local coffee spot, you know.
Yeah, there's a cute one right by us.
There's tons of them around. So this is the season, really all year, guys, shop small, but this is a good time of the year to make sure that you're doing so. And so we'll dive right on into our news articles, which the first one we're going to go over is a study that came out of, where did it come out of? Is it out of the UK? Is that what it
No,
said?
the U.S. and Europe as well. So a couple different places. I think Ireland too. And so 33 companies, I think this is in the U.S. alone, with more than 900 employees collectively, have been doing for the past 6 months in the U.S. One of the world's biggest trials for the 4-day work week. And then the results are in. It says people can't get enough and don't want to go back.
You don't
It's
say.
Shocking.
Incredible. If they only had known of a podcast in an organization who knew about this.
So I actually did see like a TikTok this last night or this morning about this specific article, and they were
really?
covering it on the news. So I was like going through the comments, and everybody's like, well, wait till they have to find out that they're working 10 hours a day or they're getting paid less. I'm like, clearly they don't understand
That's
it.
not how it goes.
No, I'm pretty sure this study as well, nothing is changing.
Right.
It is just 4-day work weeks instead of 5, and I think a lot of people
It is such a foreign
don't
concept.
understand.
Right. It's a foreign concept because people are so tied to the 40-hour work week that they can't comprehend a 4-day work week, because then that's the number one question that we always get, including in our Facebook group, which if you're not a part of the Facebook group, it's the Go Work Wherever on Facebook. It's a private group, so you'll have to submit. We do make sure that we don't nobody spamming it, so it is private, so you'll have to request to join. But people ask me all the time in there, and they say, how do you get 40 hours in 32 hours? You're like, that's not the point. The point of a 4-day work week is not how many hours is that person working in a week. It's a production-based economy.
Exactly.
That's your organization shifts from butt in a seat for a certain amount of hours to how much are they producing and how can I track how much they are producing and increase their productivity. That is a 4-day work week, which we've talked about on this show, a 0-day work week, and that is where all of this is heading. It is going to go to a production-based compensation plan for all employees. That's where we're headed, guys.
Microsoft even, like I reposted something on Capitol Presence. They did like their little 2023 bingo. I think some of them are a joke, but one of them was the 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Which
We've had April Dunham on this show. I think it was our first episode of the new show. Actually, Katrina Gazarian was our first episode, but she was one of the first episodes on this show, and I had her on the old show too. And she is the Power Platform advocate for Microsoft, and she talked about a 0-day work week. We talked about it together, and she was like, there's no reason why you can't. It's just going to have to be a gradual shift because people are still so tied to, well, are they still working 8 hours? Are they working 10 hours? Who cares? Who cares if they're working 2 hours?
if they get everything done.
Right. Is that what you
at a
care?
better quality.
Right.
too.
What do you really care about? Are you looking for them to sit there, or do you care that they're getting everything done? Because those are two completely different things, and that's the largest thing. And so there are statistics in here that talk about productivity. 9 out of 10 of them said on average that they rated the experience a 9 out of 10, which employees are happier. You're getting more work done. There's less meetings.
Stronger work performance, decrease in burnout, and improve work-life balance. Which
Right.
is what we've been saying.
That's the whole premise of this podcast. Is this article right here, and then the next article we're going to talk about with killer robots. This is like today's episode. If this is your first episode, welcome on in, because every other episode has been about these two articles essentially for the entire season. Which what episode are we on? Is this 20?
I think this would be 21.
21. Okay.
We have
good.
some more filmed, but
right. I guess it is kind of hard to say
be.
what number are we. How many have we recorded?
Right.
We got about like 8 recorded that we haven't released yet. So.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's saying that there is a small percentage that feel more stressed.
Right. 16%, I believe, right?
I would assume because they feel like they have to meet this 4-day deadline, but their performance is also going up.
Right.
So, I mean, it kind of coincides. But I kind of related it to back like in high school. Like, I definitely was a procrastinator.
I was just about to say.
And still am. But, okay, I knew this is due the next day. Like, I'm going to bust my butt. I'm stressed out, but
right.
motivates me.
I was just about to say.
If you have 40 hours a week, nobody is doing, nobody is sitting there all 8 hours every single day getting something done.
No.
It just doesn't.
It's not how it works.
Maybe for a rare few, sure, but you're talking to your coworkers.
You're walking around.
Exactly.
You're going out for coffee. There are things that you're doing, and then when you have less days. So I was just about to say, like, have you ever procrastinated before?
Yeah.
Of course you have, because you're a human.
I used to work at a winery too, so we would for sure have like our down season.
Yeah.
So between the time of like December and March, like some days it was dead, and I did weddings, so there was like nothing to do some days. But I was there 8 hours a day. And I would just like get up. I was like, okay, I gotta go to the kitchen. Like I gotta walk around. I gotta go make myself a coffee. I gotta have to do something.
Nobody is as productive as they were the day before continuously.
Right.
It's just not how we are as humans. Now, there are the extremely disciplined people who, write out down. I'm going to have a whole section of people that are like the Arate people that I know listen to this show are going to say, well, I do the power list and I write my 5 things down and I do my things and I'm as productive and disciplined every day. Sure. You are not the mass.
Right.
Okay? The masses out there are
lazy.
They're lazy. And they're the ones right now that are going, I'm shutting down. I've seen all those Instagram reels and TikToks and
talking about like, okay, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I'm shutting down.
Right. And we've talked about this too.
I hate that.
I know you do.
It drives me insane.
No, we do this. We do a 4-day work week in the summer.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, and I love it. And I personally feel like, okay, I know that I get this Friday off. I need to get all this stuff done before then. So it is more stressful, but you're just more motivated to get it done before that last day.
And you get a 3-day weekend.
Because you get that 3-day weekend. Now, we'll work on Friday if we absolutely have to. Like, we're on call, basically. But
yeah,
for me, like, it motivates me to get all my stuff done.
I feel like it's better. And it lessens well, I know that it's better, but it lessens the Monday crap that you see. So many people are like, oh, it's Monday. And then they don't do anything for like the first half of their day except just bitch about that it's Monday and complain and mope and can you believe that? Walk around with their coffee mugs and tell all their coworkers that how much they hate that they're at work and what they did for the weekend. Okay. If you take away a day, Monday now becomes Tuesday, essentially, because Friday is gone. So now you have 4 days. So you have less time to bitch that it's Monday, because you better get your stuff done by the end of the week, and you can get rid of some of these meetings that are like sit down and pat each other on the back or whatever that you guys. I don't know what you guys do in your 2-hour long meetings.
Right.
It's crazy to me that those types of meetings still exist.
Right, and this is helpful too. You have less time, so your meetings need to become more to the point.
You need to be more productive.
Exactly.
And then the alternative to this is PTO, which you touched on there a little bit to say leave. So there are, I think, 13 weeks. So we do summer Fridays. So between Memorial Day and Labor Day, I think it's 13 Fridays. And you're getting 13 extra days back into your PTO, which is a lot of hours.
A lot of difference.
I don't know what. I think 12 times 8 is 96, so 13 would be 104. I think if my
wrong person asked.
Somebody's out there with a calculator and checking me and going.
Eleanor could probably tell you.
Eleanor, my daughter would know.
There. I was listening
She's
to her
a math
sing
whiz, huh?
upstairs. She has them down.
I'm
She's like
usually
6, and it was
pretty
so
good at
impressive.
math. Yeah, she's good.
Your little one was like singing along too.
Yeah.
Good
We do
for
the
you.
times tables like, into songs, which that's what I did when I was little too. I listened to the multiplication rap, where they
love
just
that.
rap their. Yeah, that's how I learned my
I
multiplications.
didn't know multiplication. Well, I mean, I do know it, but I
Let's-
definitely, the state one stuck with me.
The state?
I can name all of my states in alphabetical order so fast.
Can you really?
Yeah, can you not?
I can't. But now I feel like that you've said this, we're gonna have to do this. This is now going to become a reel. Here,
Do you want me to do it right now?
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I'm going to
Shoot.
make you
I'm
the.
not going to sing it, but I will say them fast.
Let's see it.
Okay. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Wow. That
Thank you.
is impressive. That's a round of applause. We have a clap button somewhere over there. I don't know.
want to push things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one
You
it
can
is.
push any of them.
Which one do you
It's
think?
one of those over there.
This one here?
No. One of
It's
these.
probably the first one. This one?
I don't know.
That
We'll
sounds
figure it
fun.
out. We'll have a clap button one of these days.
That's it.
That was incredible, though. Congratulations. That is. I don't know how to, I wouldn't even know how to begin to that.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, Alaska. Is that the right?
They had one for like capitals too. I didn't know that one as well.
I do. I've heard the Capitals one.
It's so interesting, like school nowadays too. Like they've
Yeah.
changed like how they sing the alphabet as well.
What?
Mm-hmm. Because before, I think we would sing it to like Twinkle Twinkle.
A B C.
Like
yeah,
it's the
Twinkle,
same
Twinkle,
song,
yeah.
but they've changed it up.
Huh.
I don't know, but I know it's different now.
Interesting. Yeah, my kids are homeschooled, so we don't sing the Twinkle Twinkle. Actually, I don't think we sing. We're past alphabet. Like I don't
Right.
even know. I don't even know. You gotta ask Mom. You gotta ask Haley about
yeah.
that stuff. But the 4-day work week, you get an extra day. You get more days into your leave. You get time to spend with your kids to learn the alphabet song and your multiplication tables and all that fun stuff on Fridays.
Right. I was telling you that I think it would be helpful to do in the winter too, especially during this time, like from Thanksgiving to Christmas, because people might be a little bit more motivated to get things done.
And then right after you said that, what did we do?
We implemented
We
it.
implemented it.
I wasn't pushing for it, but I'm
You
glad
weren't
did.
pushing for it. Sure you weren't. Yeah. Of course she was. She knows how to
I think it could help.
She says, you know,
Any business, really. I mean, if you're really worried about productivity going down, which
this is a tough time
I
of
think
the
it
year.
is a thing for everybody, like seasonal depression, right?
Yeah.
People just get bored. It gets dark early.
Yeah.
They get burnt out because it's the end of the year. They just want Christmas. So, I mean, and there's a lot of things going on, like Christmas, shows and your kids' things and everything like that. So maybe you're taking off anyways. So, could help.
Yeah. I mean, to what we just said before, so let's not confuse these two things. The first thing that we said was don't shut down between Black Friday and the New Year. The next thing we said was give your employees Fridays off during the season. Those are two separate points. We're not saying don't shut down certain days. What we're saying is your individual employees, don't let them shut down and not do any work.
Right.
If you give them off Fridays, then you give them off Fridays, but you still expect them to be productive.
You're working the same.
Right. That's the productivity should not halt.
What they are doing and spending their time doing is
Totally different.
more
Yeah.
concentrated.
Absolutely. So we actually did do that. We are giving Fridays off for the end of the year, which I think.
I mean, there's like 3 more.
I know. I looked at the calendar after I agreed, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's great.
Christmas Eve, we were already going to do that. New Year's Eve, we were already going to do that.
Still very.
So I think we got like 2.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a very easy decision.
Well, you have to use 1 less vacation day.
You did get to use 1 less vacation day, didn't you? So that
There
is
you
a
go.
plus. Because prior to, there were people who had to look at their days, how many vacation days they had for a year, and plan it out.
Right.
They had to be very strategic with it.
Yeah, I was telling Roy that there was an article the other day that I was looking at, and it was like how to plan this year with your days off, or like what days to use off so that you can maximize like how many days you have off. And it was taking in like the holidays, but this holiday's on a Sunday, so you get this Monday off too. So take off this Friday, so you have a 4-day work weekend.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I have had to do that before. Is you're like, okay, I can choose to take my vacation in February, but that means I have 1 less day or 2 less days for my family in December, and how much leave time am I going to earn throughout the year? And it's a whole equation behind it. Yeah. And when you give people summer Fridays or holiday Fridays or whatever you want to call it, just do a 4-day work week, then it changes the way that they're going to be using their leave and tracking their leave, and which I believe the article goes on to say that people took less leave because they were getting Fridays.
Right. Well, and you see that in remote work too, just in general.
People take leave less,
just take less leave.
Right. Which people always think the opposite. They're like, well, if they get 4-day work week and then they're taking leave and now they're only No, that's not how it works.
Right. They don't do anything. They work from their house. They can take off whenever, which is not true.
It is.
Maybe we can work wherever we want.
The rumors around it is crazy. People think, oh, well, they're so lazy. It's like, you have time theft no matter what. If the person is going to commit time theft, they're going to do it in the office or they're going to do it at home. It's not the system that you've implemented. It's the employee. Right. If somebody is going to steal time from you, they were going to do it in the office anyways. They were going to, read a book at their desk or go on Facebook or play Snood or whatever. I mean, even when people were in the office, there were these programs that people had to install into their systems so that employees didn't go to time-wasting websites. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that.
Well, in like high school, I remember they would like block certain things. But even like now, like I have a really good friend who works, he like sells Zoom to like the government.
Yeah, okay.
Which is pretty funny. But yeah, they have like where he has to make sure like he logs in at certain times, like he's moving his mouse a couple times a day.
Yeah. These things this is not new. Right. This stuff has been around forever. The whole idea of punching in and punching out is tracking of people and what they're doing. You had to, you had to pull your time card and physically slide it into the punch machine. That meant you're at work. Then you had to physically punch out to go eat lunch and then punch back in. So this is nothing new. It's just now when you are working from home or if you're on a computer, there's just more things that we can track. Right? That's all it is. So, I mean, you can get down to mouse wiggles, GPS, IP addresses, where they logged in from, all that stuff. It's not new. It's just a new way of doing it, right? So if you're worried about time theft, then you're worried about the wrong thing. In a 4-day work week, people are not going to take it. I mean, some people will take advantage of it, but you could probably get rid of those people anyways.
Company culture, right?
Exactly.
Making sure you are hiring the right people.
Right. Your problem is not the 4-day work
trust.
week. Your problem is the culture. Exactly right. That's exactly right. So yeah, that was that article, and I think that the whole managing of time, your leave, will go the way of balancing a checkbook. People don't balance their checkbook anymore because we have technology that balances it for us. We have the virtual wallets and all those virtual banking and all that other stuff. Nobody balances a checkbook anymore. I think you said your dad does, right?
Yeah, I've never done that.
So the people like some of the older people who have the habit now of balancing their leave will probably always do it no matter what. I'm one of those people.
Happy birthday, Dad. I know you listen, so I'm going to give him a shout out too. He'll be so excited.
Yeah.
He'll text me like, I heard you say this. I knew that.
There you go. Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Paul Brown.
Paul Brown. Great name.
I think so.
It's an American name right there.
It is.
But yeah, he will probably always balance his checkbook. He probably always balances leave. I will always balance my leave. I don't balance a checkbook. I'll be honest. I'm kind of like the last of it. I did learn how, but I don't do it. I got in trouble in college for not balancing it multiple times, overdraft fees. I won't go down that rant.
Yeah, I think like by the time I got a debit card,
you probably didn't have to deal with it.
I just had the app.
Yeah, it was just
the
there.
banking app, so it just tells you.
Not me. I had to. Well, yeah, it is now.
I don't know what I would do if I could like have
It's
a steady
awful.
stream of like how much money I had.
Balancing a checkbook is terrible. I hated it, which is why I don't do it. But I do manage my leave.
I feel like it'd be so hard now too, because
there's so many more
before
purchases.
like you didn't necessarily like have all these internet things like
there's no auto
subscriptions.
drafts, right? Exactly.
So now I would have no idea if I had to count in like Netflix and Amazon and my Shein order that I've split up 4 ways,
right.
4 monthly payments or bi-weekly payments or whatever. My $12 payment that I've split up into 4 payments.
Right,
of $2.
your auto pay or whatever. What are those things
I
called?
do that all the time. I mean, take advantage.
I do it all the time.
0 interest. So why would you not?
I just did it for concert tickets.
We did it for my wedding dress.
That's smart. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's like one of those Klarna apps or something like
yeah.
that. And I was like, oh yeah, split it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Why not? Pay $15 to split this into 6 payments? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I do it all the time. What are they? The Klarna, there's the Afterpay, and there's tons of them.
The Shopify.
Shop. Do they do one? PayPal does one.
Shopify does. Shop is more like an app that just kind of tracks.
Yeah. No, I love that stuff. I do it all the time. But I will always track my leave. I'm always going to do it. Just like your dad will probably always do his checkbook. Which I logged in the other day and checked everyone's leave.
I found out how to do it, so.
Did you check?
I checked and I used it. I requested.
You just use it all, dump.
I saw that you approved it too.
I did approve, yes.
We're excited. We're gonna have lots of Mexico content.
Just don't drink the water.
Do not. I did last day.
Did you really?
No, yeah. I got
did you come back sick?
Yes, and I got sick the whole night before. I'm like trying to pack. It was awful.
My brother just did the same thing. He was in Mexico
awful.
like a couple months ago, and he drank the water. Yeah. Don't drink the water.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's like the Mexican hangover, I think is what they call it, or something like that. I forget what they call it.
Bottled water. No ice.
You gotta drink bottled water, no ice. Yeah. It's real. That is not a good feeling coming back to that water. No, thank you.
Went on that plane not feeling great.
Oof, man. And there's no real quick way over it. You just gotta hang on.
That was sketchy. I mean, I might have also been sick, but I don't know.
If you weren't, you were after the drinking the water.
I don't know if travel restrictions. I don't think there's any like COVID restrictions anymore. At least for Mexico. I'm sure for other
Mexico
places.
never really cared.
At least last time, like we had a positive test to come back. I don't think that's a thing anymore.
The Canada stopped doing it. So if Canada stopped doing it, for all my Canada listeners out there, what's up? Congratulations that people are allowed to move freely within your country. I did hear, so I'm in a group chat with about 4 people who live in Toronto, and they said that it's all coming back. It's starting to come back. So hopefully not, because I had plans to go up to Tremblant this year. I've been meaning to go to Tremblant the last 3 years, but they keep locking everything down. Mount Tremblant, it's a skiing and snowboarding place. Maybe we'll all go.
No, thank you.
Maybe we'll go someday. You not a big Canada fan?
No, skiing or snowboarding.
Oh, well, you'll learn.
I went snowboarding the first time.
Does Evan snowboard?
2021. Yes, he's great. He's from Connecticut. He grew up in Vermont and things like that.
Yeah.
My first time, I broke my arm.
Well, go skiing.
No, I was snowboarding.
You're right. Go skiing.
I don't know. It left a bad taste.
Snowboarding is very hard.
I cast for 6 weeks.
Did you go with Evan?
Yes.
And he was like, come on.
We had just got, it was like our second time down the hill.
Oh,
we had just gotten there. They gave me my money back, which is very sweet of them.
That's good.
But I felt bad because he hadn't been, and I was like, okay, like I want you to.
So you sat in the lodge and drank hot cocoa with a broken arm?
I drank wine with my arm up. I had it. I went to the doctor, so they put the doctor there.
Uh-huh.
They couldn't really do anything. It was fully broken though. Like it was
They
sideways.
just splint it and give you some painkillers?
It was in like cardboard, and then he gave me ice, and I just held it on the helmet while I was like, I think I had like mozzarella sticks, and I was like drinking wine.
Oh my gosh.
For like a good 6 hours with a broken arm.
That's a
Finally.
trooper though. And you just
What
let
do you
Evan
do?
go snowboard?
Yeah.
Well done.
What are you gonna do? But
Well
then,
done.
yeah, I had a bent cast. I couldn't touch my head. It was stuck like this.
Oh my god.
I couldn't reach it. It was awful.
Oh,
so
that's...
I think I'm good.
Well,
I'm a beach
ski next
bum.
time. It's much easier when you ski, I promise. Have you ever been water skiing before?
No.
Oh, man. All right, well, maybe we'll
I'm
do
a
it.
beach bum. See,
Well,
I would prefer to just go and sit. Like my idea of a vacation is either doing something like super adventurous. Okay, so I would like love to go like scuba diving, or,
Okay.
like, snorkeling,
Mhm.
or I don't know, on a boat, or like zip lining, or hike up a mountain. But I
Okay.
draw the line at cold things.
cold.
I don't love cold.
Well, you are in charge of our 2 annual meetups, biannual meetups. So, pick somewhere that's not cold, I guess.
Yeah, I told you. I think we're
Savannah, right?
Savannah or like Charleston. I think could be cool.
I love Charleston, so I'm all in there.
Because there's like historic, but also like beach.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm down.
We could go
I
on, like,
love Charleston.
Can you do a
Been there a
ghost
few
tour?
times.
I love a ghost tour.
We did ghost tours when we were in Charleston last time.
There was a portion of my life where I wanted to be like a ghost hunter.
Really?
Yes.
With the beep 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 beep
Mhm.
things? Interesting profession.
If I could get paid well and do that, I would.
Nobody gets paid well and
Right,
does that.
exactly. That's why I'm not, but I would do it.
Yeah, I've been on multiple ghost tours.
Oh yeah, I love a ghost tour.
They're fun.
I went to Catholic school growing up, like
Yeah.
preschool to 8th grade. Great education. But I remember for 8th grade we had to write like a 12, 13-page paper. And I did mine on parapsychology, which
Huh.
is the study of like paranormal research.
Yeah.
They didn't love it.
They didn't love it. That's
But-
not surprising.
I procrastinated and waited to the last minute, and that my mom used to get so mad.
Should've
'cause
had a 4-day
I would wait
work
till
week.
the day before to do everything.
Because you're a human. That's how
right.
it works.
And she would get so mad. She's like, you both of you and your brother, like, wait till the last minute and you like get an A.
That's how everybody does it.
Why
That's
not?
That's what your 5-day work week is promoting, guys.
Why not? If
Why
it
not
works
just make
for
it
you,
4-day?
do it.
I'll tell you where we won't be going for our biannuals, because I will veto it. We will not be going to San Francisco.
Absolutely not.
Because San Francisco,
No, thank you.
guys, this is not a joke. I have, so it's for this, since this was such a serious thing that's been circulating throughout the internet, I have the Washington Post up. Sydney has Fox News up.
Yes.
And we're going to break this down from
me
both
both sides.
angles. Because both angles,
Surprisingly, these aren't like that different, though.
everyone thinks this is a bad idea.
Right.
Is the point here. So the
A little
headline.
sketchy.
Here's the headline from the Washington Post, and then you can read the headline from Fox. The headline from the Washington Post. Can police use robots to kill? San Francisco voted yes. And then what's the Fox News one?
San Francisco approves plan to allow police robots to use deadly force in
Right.
emergency situations.
Police robots are gonna be out there murdering people. So here is, now I will say the internet has made a bigger deal out of this than it really is.
Right.
I think it's a terrible decision, and I think
For
it's a
sure.
big deal, not mostly because of what's happening now, but
What could
what's
happen.
going to happen.
Right, and in my mind, and I think a lot of people,
You
you're
saw
thinking,
RoboCop, right?
Yes, but I think, what comes to mind is just literally robots with like machine guns, which is not
Right.
what it is.
That's what I mean.
But
In your mind, you read this and you're like,
if you're reading that headline
RoboCop.
and not looking into
Yeah.
it, that's what you're gonna think.
and that's what's circulating right now.
Yeah.
Is the headlines. Is people are like, oh my gosh, there are just these AI robots out here with guns shooting people in San Francisco. And I thought the same thing. As soon as I read it, I was like, oh my God. The first time that this AI robot gets punched or kicked or made fun of, it's going to shoot somebody, and we're going to have death all over San Francisco, and this is the beginning of Terminator. Which immediately my mind went to a bot, a Twitter bot, which I think, do you have it pulled up? I know you had it pulled up earlier.
I can.
There is a Twitter bot that Microsoft developed, and it was a Microsoft produced AI that They released it to Twitter to learn from Twitter on how to act, speak, and be a part of the Twitter community. What year was it from?
So this is back in 2016.
2016.
So they let this bot go and wanted
Now
to
here
see
you go,
what it would come
AI.
up with.
Go learn from the people.
And within 24 hours, they had to take it down.
24 hours.
And
One
now-
day.
Right. It's bad, and I'm not gonna say any of this. I can link it maybe, but yeah, it was.
Do not read a single quote from any of the tweets because they are terrible.
Twitter bot turned into Kanye West.
It went way Kanye West.
He got banned.
He did get banned. Kanye West and Antonio Brown right now are fighting for who the craziest person on the internet is right now. But they both lose to this AI Microsoft bot from 2016.
Which is, it's Microsoft. It's not a random company.
This
Like,
This is not a small business. This is like global leader in artificial intelligence bots.
Right.
Released this bot to the Twitterverse and was like, let's learn, go learn. It's going to be so great. You'll be able to have conversations with it. Super racist, super sexist, just like terrible. And so my mind was, if you release AI police bots to go learn, it's going to just start shooting people. We got Terminator coming. It's going to learn people are bad and start just murdering. That's where my mind went with this. Thank God that's not what they voted here. So what did they vote for?
So it's basically saying that, that they have these robots. I think it says 17 of them. None of them have guns on them, but they will use an explosive force. So basically C4.
Don't worry, guys. No
Which is
guns, just explosives.
a little less accurate, which is almost scarier, but.
Oh my gosh.
And we've talked about this too. I'm all for using AI or robots in the right situations,
Right.
especially in the case of war zones or wherever.
To take humans out of danger.
Exactly.
To save lives. Save the lives of the frontline people. We're both in agreement that is, and that's where I think that the vote was 8 to 3.
Yeah.
Did they say what it was? So it wasn't unanimous, which thank God it wasn't unanimous, but they
Pretty
did.
close.
Yeah, here's a quote from one of the Democrats who was on the board. She's the board president. Most law enforcement weapons are used against people of color. Board president Shaman Walton, who's a Democrat, said at the meeting, "I'm really just stunned that we're here talking about this. Nobody thinks this is a good idea."
Right.
Because she's right on. I assume it's a shaman. I don't know. They, whoever they are spot on.
Right.
We are using artificial intelligence right now within the government to pinpoint criminals. The FBI uses it, and they're looking for specific things. And that AI, many could argue, is racist because it's looking for specific indicators, and we're basing those learned traits, or what you're learning about what a criminal is based on historical information of who's a criminal. And so if you look at crime statistics, which you can argue that it's skewed and that there are framing, and you would probably be absolutely right. It doesn't take too much watching a Dateline to understand that the criminal justice system is corrupt. And that's where these bots are learning. And they're going through the internet and they're looking for these things because you have to teach a bot something. Or they're going to learn it through reading text and historical value of historical value. So either way, right on, board president Walton, because that's exactly what will happen if you let these bots just run free.
Right.
You will see people just get murdered for no reason.
Yeah, and I've got one here who, let's see, senior staff attorney of the Lawyers Committee of Civil Rights in San Francisco. We are living in a dystopian future where we debate whether the police may use robots to execute citizens without a trial, judge, or jury.
Right. Terrible. That's not what the point of a police officer is. Oh, excuse me. A police officer is here. That's the First Form energy drink. Bubbles. It's great. It's delicious. Not an ad. The point of a police officer is not to go out and murder people. It's to protect the citizens and then bring those to justice. So the fact that there is somebody who is in a standoff and you can strap a C4 explosive to a robot and then wheel them in and then blow up the building where this person is without a trial to see if that person is even guilty or innocent, which right now, we just mentioned Antonio Brown. Today, Antonio Brown is in a standoff with police right now. And they're saying that Antonio Brown has weapons in his locked door. He has a warrant out for his arrest because of a battery charge. And so he's in a standoff with police as we record this podcast.
He's a football player.
Yeah, he was a wide receiver. You didn't need to look that
No,
up.
I didn't
He was a
know
wide
that.
receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Las Vegas Raiders for like 3 days. He's in a standoff with police as we record this. Can the police, they think the person has guns. Can the police send in a robot bomb to go blow him up? Like, what is the regulation around this when you can use this robot?
Right.
Because if you're doing it to protect police officers and you're like, well, we don't want to get any of my guys shot. Okay, well, are you going to go blow up Antonio Brown?
Right. And that brings you back to like the whole thing that we've talked about before, and AI and all these things. Like, there needs to be some sort of laws.
There needs to
about
be a regulator.
Right.
Right now in the military, so these bots that they're talking about, they are the detonation bots. So we do use robots to go up to bombs and defuse a bomb, to cut wires and so that if it goes off, because I think you've seen people. Have you seen people in the big bomb suits and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
So those people would go up to the bomb and cut it, right? So we use robots now to help assist with that. You can't always use a robot, but these robots are getting more responsive and more intelligent where you can do things like that. I mean, you have robots doing surgeries and all this stuff, but it's a human-centric approach. Humans are still in control. The military has these type of robots go out, drones, tanks, all kinds of things that have weapons that can identify a adversary. Facial recognition, body, they can look at the way you walk because everybody uniquely walks different. You can look at the way your body is structured. You can look at the face. You can look at all kinds of different ways that somebody interacts, moves, and everything, and identify who they are. And then that machine, that AI robot, can then say, we've identified the adversary. This is where they are. Do you want me to shoot them? And the human then has to take over and pull the trigger because we don't want rogue drones that fly. We have drones right now that fly from, I won't say where, East Coast America to Africa and back just all day. Flying. Super fast. All this stuff that people are like, oh, that's this picture of a spaceship that just went. Guys.
I don't know.
We have drones that are super, super fast that humans aren't in. You believe in UFOs?
Kind of.
Guys, Sydney.
You don't believe in aliens? That's a whole other podcast. Maybe I.
What kind of aliens?
I think I need a tinfoil hat.
What kind of aliens?
Not like a green alien that looks like what you think, but
do I believe that
sort of other extraterrestrial?
I do believe that there is life outside of Earth.
Oh, for sure.
I do not believe that it is our sort of life. Like, I don't think they're as intelligent as us.
I think there are so many. Like, have you seen a picture? Okay, obviously, like, I'll have to find it for you.
Mm-hmm.
There is the picture of, like, your solar system, right?
Yeah.
And then it just goes and goes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen, like, maybe, I don't even know. We've seen, like, one solar system out.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong. Not a lot.
I don't know
There are
but
things
I do.
so far away that we just have absolutely no way of knowing ever.
Uh-huh. I think it's open for debate. I think we have no proof of life at this moment. We're certainly looking for it. We are just broadcasting radio frequency into the universe with the hopes that somebody picks it up.
Right.
And we think we're playing classical music for one of the radio frequencies. So there is no proof that it exists. Now, is that to say that some sort of life like bacteria or cells or something like that exists? Yeah, sure. Do I think that there are like humanoids out in the universe? No, I don't think that there is, because I think if there were, they would have. If they were like us, put it this way: if it's humans and we have the ability to go to another planet, we're gonna do it,
Right.
and we're gonna take that planet over, and it's gonna be the United States of Jupiter. We would take it over. And so I think that in the event there are life
It's
forms,
just so far away that we have no way.
we're the bad guy out there. I think that. But the point is
It
that
can be
these
in our
robots.
our other podcast.
That's right. That's our other podcast. I do think that we've talked about it in a separate episode. I do think that Elon and how he wants to go to Mars and everything like that. I think robots will go first, and then we'll build the structure, and
Which is also scary.
that's scary. But that's where we're going with all this. Is when you arm robots.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, San Francisco is de-arming its people and arming robots. That's for another episode. Crazy. But yeah, I think this is a terrible decision. I do think that this is just the first of what we're seeing. So the police forces get basically like the archived military surplus. So the military has a bunch of things, a bunch of robots, machine guns, or ARs and riot gear and all this stuff, right? And they hand it over to the police. That's where the surplus goes. Military buys new stuff. We give it to the police so that they can use it. And that's what these bots are. These bots are old tech. So this is all remote control stuff. This is not artificial intelligence, but that is coming because the military has the stuff now that does have artificial intelligence. And soon artificial intelligence is going to get smarter, and the military is going to need new tanks and new drones. And then guess where those drones and all of that AI-powered bots are going to go? Into cities like San Francisco, which I believe Dallas was also named in this article. It says 6 years ago, police in Dallas were forced to improvise when a sniper killed 5 officers and began an hours-long standoff. Unable to approach the shooter, officers used a robot with an extending arm to guide a pound of C4 explosives towards him. Then they detonated their makeshift bomb, killing the shooter. So that's kind of the use case that has been presented to San Francisco to say, hey, look, we stopped a mass shooter with this C4 explosive. You can do it too. So we have Dallas, who's gun happy over there out in Texas. Yeehaw. And then we have San Francisco, who is super, super liberal, so much to the point that they don't know what they're doing. And these are the two places that we have these robots that are running with bombs. This is not going to end well. And these two cities are probably the ones that are going to end up with this artificial driving drones that can shoot and murder people here in 10 years. And you heard it here first, guys. Terrible, terrible decision. I'm very scared for the future of our cities if this is the direction that we're taking now. A lot of people will say, well, it's just to save lives, and that's true, but how often are these things going to be deployed? That's going to be the question. Is this just an active shooter scenario? Is this like Antonio Brown, like we just talked about? He's got guns. He's locked himself in. Does he get blown up by a robot? Like, we already have the decision and the conversation that have been going around the last couple of years, the Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe, defund the police, all these conversations of police officers who are already being questioned about their excessive use of force. That's why we have body cams and everything like that. And we're saying, did you shoot when you should have? We have officers who are in prison right now because they used excessive force of just breaking in and pulling and shooting people. There are good cops and bad cops, right? And I like to think that there are more good than bad, but there are still bad cops out there. And so who gets to say this robot bomb gets brought in, the good cop or the bad cop? I don't know. I think this is a bad idea. I can't believe this passed, but we'll see.
San Francisco.
I will tell you, this is not the last time we talk about this.
Oh no.
It's not going to be the last time. We're gonna see more. So that is that's the show for today, guys. Keep an eye on this Amazon 10,000 workers being laid off right before Christmas. Keep an eye on that because that is a big deal. More to come. It was prior to that 10,000, it was 20,000 tech employees, workers have been laid off this season. That 10,000 makes 30,000. So huge layoffs around tech companies and big tech giants. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Guys, thanks for hanging out. Go to goworkwherever.com. Just hit refresh basically until the website comes up. Here soon you'll be able to go to onlineacademy.cloud. Make sure you go to .cloud and not .com. Onlineacademy.cloud. That'll be your home for all things training. We'll also have it linked to Go Work Wherever, so Go Work Wherever will kind of be the home base for all this stuff. In the meantime, go to our YouTube page, which we just got a handle.
At Capital Presence.
We can go to youtube.com/@capitalpresence.
I think just Capital Presence.
Yeah. You have to do the @ sign.
I'm not sure.
Pretty sure.
Anyway.
You might not have to. She would know. But either way, you go to YouTube, Capital Presence, like, subscribe, hit some comments. If you like this show, if you want to hear more about it, drop in the comments. Make sure that you leave what it is that you want to hear. You want to hear more about killer robots? You want to hear more about 4-hour work days? We got both of them in there. Was that right?
Yes.
Gosh, I hate when that happens. Guys, thanks for hanging out. We're going to continue to break down the tech trends. We're going to continue to break things down. I am so glad that we didn't even have to mention Elon. Well, we did mention Elon, but we didn't have to talk about Twitter or anything this episode because I feel like the last 5 episodes have just been the crazy things that Elon Musk is doing over there. But so I like that we got to talk about killer robots and 4-day work weeks today because that's what this show is all about.
Sums it up.
That sums it up right there. So guys, thanks for hanging out. And until next time, Sydney, got anything?
I'm good.
All right. See you.
See ya.
Hey there! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for all the latest videos from Capital Presence.